Welcome to the Downtown, brought to you by Arlington Citizen Media. I am Daryl Smith Jr., and across the internet for me is...
I am Rody John, and across the interwebs for me is...
Amy!
In today's show, we talk to five-timer Garret Martin.
Five-time
Garret Martin. About what Arlington has been through this year, what the future holds for Arlington, both in the next year and, 5 to 10 years from now. And we also talk about the cool jacket that the five-timers get on our show here.
Yeah.
They get to wear.
Well, they don't get to take it home.
They get to wear it. And we got some great photos of Garret wearing it, so check those out as well.
We do. So today we wanted to it's the end of the year, we want to talk about this crazy year and what our favorite moments were. I'm sure we have a lot of non-favorite moments from this year, but let's talk about some of our favorites. Rody, what were your favorite interviews or moments from the show this year?
I think starting the year out at JB Little with Hunter Pence and Lexi Pence planting trees for the kids. I think that was an amazing way to start the year. Little did we know that it would go terribly wrong the rest of the year. But we did get to talk to them, actually have both of them on the show also. I love talking to them. I love talking to Jeff Moore the 3 times. It was 3 times in a month, and I actually saw him in person the 4th time. So I think Jeff Moore's slowly...
He's closing in on that jacket, too.
Yeah.
He's very close. So he's got 2 interviews away, and then we're going to have sweet pictures at the Team Envy headquarters. Can't wait.
Cool.
Amy, what was your favorite moments of the year?
Well, I think one of my absolute favorites, and it's particularly fresh in my mind, we haven't even put it out yet, but it was our interview with Flash Newman, a local celebrity busker who went from being homeless to, having a well-paying job and a home. And his story was really inspiring. It inspired me to carry, blankets and hand warmers and food and water and stuff in my car to hand out to homeless people, because sometimes just those little items really help them out. I always love talking to Eli.
Yes.
He's got his oddities that he's doing now and all of these streaming things and cool stuff in the EDM community. He's a great person to talk to, just really fun. I loved our interview with the musical memory singers. Those ladies were so sweet. They sang a song for us. What they do is inspiring, and it's all volunteer work, and I just love that. That would be a great organization to donate to, at the end of the year. And of course, Rody, I absolutely had a blast doing our Arlington Cares video streaming event.
It seems so long ago.
I know.
It was like 3 years ago, right?
It seems, yeah.
That was
this year was 3 years putting together.
It really was. We raised real money for real artists in the city. Yeah. We appreciate everybody that donated. We had so much fun making it. Thank you to Eric Espinosa with Film for Eyes for doing that project for free.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work. It took several weeks. And thank you to all the locations, Tipsy Oak, Mavericks,
Auto, Arlington Music Hall, which is back open again, so please go see venues and music as much as you can safely.
Yes. And what's the brewery?
Division. No, I'm sorry.
No.
It's Legal Draft.
Legal Draft.
Who we also talked to.
Yeah, we've also talked to Waze this year.
Yeah. What about you, Daryl?
I really liked talking to the city council candidates. That was a really fun and informative bit of interviewing that we did this year, and it was nice to like get to talk to those people, because when we first started, people were like, "Who are you guys? I don't want to talk to you." And we had several people who won their seats on this time, and so it's always good to have a relationship with people on the city council. So I'm sure that we'll have them on again in the future. I also enjoyed talking to my best friend, Sean Hamill, about his book, Cosmology of Monsters. We also do another podcast, so it was really kind of like doing that, but for this. So that was always fun. And then I also think that I really like one of the more recent ones we did, the interview with Ralph Sobel from Lake Interlocking. It was just a delightful interview, and it was a really great man and really colorful suit that he wore. Just a really fun interview that kind of, this year was obviously not great for everyone, but it was nice to kind of end it with holiday cheer and, just that sort of holiday cheer that helps kind of end the year on a high note, or as high a note as we can have, considering 2020 has been a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Did you take your family out to the Interlocking Lights? You get to check them out?
I did not.
Yeah, when does it end?
I feel like it might have already ended, but
I think until the end of this year. So you have, well, this will come out on the 31st, so potentially tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm going to the website right now.
Take their lights down.
Yeah, that's also true. I mean, if some of them keep them up for a little bit longer, maybe you can just cruise on through.
True.
The website doesn't really have any information on that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
So, I don't know. Hope for the best, I guess. Just go out there and see what you got. And it's actually, it's over. Yep, it is over. It was December 11th through the 12th and the 18th through the 25th.
Oh, okay. I thought they had it all the time, but I guess they probably don't need a million cars in their neighborhood all the time.
No, we live pretty close to there, and we tried to go to the post office over there one night, and it was like, oh my God, go the back way, because I saw the line to Randall Mill, and I'm like, no, turn right. So it was good. It was fine. But yes, there are a lot of cars.
Yeah. So, I mean, we had a lot of fun this year. We had to kind of change things up because the library was closed. So we switched over to the office, which actually was great. We have a more intimate space we can use anytime we want. Arlington Cares was super fun. We need to put that back out without the donation link so people can watch it.
If you want to donate money, I guess they can still do so.
Yeah, I guess they could. We can always make sure it goes back out to the artists.
Yeah.
Or we could just do another one. I'd love to do another one, just because it's been months now. I mean, musicians and artists are still hurting. So, something to keep in mind.
It's true choice. We are here with Garret Martin. How are you today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Very, very happy to be here for my fifth time.
Fifth time.
5 times?
Woo-hoo. It's a big one.
Yeah, we have a surprise coming at the end of the interview. I hope you guys are ready for that.
It's not a clown, we'll tell you that right now. It's not a clown.
I hope it's popsicles.
It might be popsicles.
It's popsicles.
We are popsicles if we go outside.
It is, because it's a little cold. Yeah. So, one of the things that we wanted to have you on the show to kind of talk about was just about the city of Arlington in 2020. It's been a wild year.
To say the least.
Exactly.
Just in Arlington, nowhere else.
Well, it's been a wild year everywhere, but it's, in Arlington too, obviously. Just talk about what we've been through and where we're going and, some of the things that you've seen in during the year, because I would say you're an influential man around here.
Thank you.
People know you.
People know you. You have your hands in a lot of things that are happening in Arlington and really cool. And, I'm excited to have this conversation.
Yep. Where do you come from? Where do you go? Where you come from? Cotton Eye Joe.
The best type of conversation.
So, what are some of the things that you found most inspiring about the city of Arlington and its residents this year?
So 2020 has been a very rough year. Mm-hmm. Yet through the whole thing, I think we've kept our collaborative spirit.
Yeah.
I think that now more than ever, people have banded together and, come together for support. You see support local all over the place, but it's really rung true in Arlington, both in the arts and in business. I think people have come together for local businesses. I spend all my time downtown, and there are lines out the door for a lot of these places that normally wouldn't, and their reasoning is is coming here to support, and the people who are more fortunate at giving back. So that's really rung true, and a lot of the artists have really taken a beating, but really I've seen so many people that are putting out productions this year that feature a lot of local artists, and I think they've kind of taken this time to network and just focus less on the hustle and the grind and the money, because there isn't any right now, and bring it back to the community spirit of it. So there's just a couple things, but I know there's a lot more.
Yeah, and the artists have taken that time to create more art and to, like you said, work together, because we're all in this together. So the artists working together, virtually, if they don't feel comfortable about going out or being in the same place, the same area, then I think it's been beautiful.
Yeah, I think that there's been the live streaming events that you've been a part of a lot of them with Create Arlington, and before, I guess, the precursor to Create Arlington.
Arlington Proud Live. That was really fun.
Yeah, I mean, it looked really fun, and I think that's kind of when we talk about the community kind of coming together. That's an example of that. Not in addition to the stuff about the businesses and all that, you have. People coming together to help entertain other people, because I watched several of those live streams. They're fun. It was really great to be able to see people playing live music again, live. It may not be in the same place, but we're in the same place musically, and having that connection. And, I think is really cool.
Like
they can respond.
That, me and Rudy did.
Arlington Cares.
Yeah, Arlington.
Oh
Cares,
yeah.
Really early in the pandemic.
Right.
At that point, we didn't think it was going to last this long.
Nope, we hoped it wouldn't last this long.
I think everyone did.
But we were able to give back to local musicians.
Right.
And now that it's been a while, maybe we can organize something bigger.
We definitely could do something bigger.
I mean, it's been a long time now.
Right.
And not just musicians are out of work, a lot of people are.
A lot of venues.
Yeah. And, speaking of that, what do you see as the most immediate area of need in the city, now and even post-pandemic?
That's a good question. It's a very big question.
It is a big question.
Let's see. Just looking out the window of this beautiful office back towards the city. The most immediate need.
So, I mean, for me, I think you're right. This could encompass a lot of things, right? Like, you could be talking about businesses. You could be talking about schools. You could be talking about housing. And there are a lot of issues to grapple with. I mean, with the pandemic, one of the things, and I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. The Arlington citizens have been very good about supporting local and doing that. Obviously, as a tourism, I wouldn't say that we're all a tourism city, but we are a tourism city. Whether we want to be that or not, it is what we are. Stadium city,
Wet and wild.
We are a tourism based city, so there is going to be a big decline in taxes that we normally see from that will affect my kids in school. It will affect road repair. It will affect what the city is able to do. I don't know how you combat that. I do think there will be areas of opportunity for more community role in that. I think sometimes when you have maybe, I don't want to say a breakdown of city services, because that's not what I think is going to happen, but a reduction of, or something like that. I don't know. I think there's the opportunity for community organizations to kind of step in and help bridge that gap. And I hope that we see that, because there is a big spirit of cooperation right now, and I hope that we can tap into that at a local level and do what we can to mitigate some of these things that might be coming down the pipeline.
Right. Yeah, I do see where you're coming from. Absolutely, with bringing folks back, because we lost $20 million of tax revenue because of the lack of tourism, and bringing people back is huge. I think to piggyback off of that. Connecting the bridge between the entertainment district and the downtown area, that is kind of a symbolic thing in my mind, because that's connecting the entertainment district with the heart of the city, right. And with the citizens here. So I think that bridge is just as mental as it is physical, So bringing folks back and making sure we have big events. But I will give it to the people over there at Texas Live, they and the whole entertainment district, they have brought in some really cool events. PBR and NFR have.
I went to the PBR. It was very interesting.
The World Series? I mean, the World Series is here. You know?
Yeah.
If you had told me in 2020 they were like, yeah, the World Series is going to be here, I'd be like, what? I thought it was somewhere else.
Yeah, I'd be like, wait a minute, I thought Rangers aren't going to do that good this year.
Right, exactly. No, now it's here, you know? Like, and kudos to, like, being in a position, I guess, to do something like that.
Absolutely.
To kind of be able to swoop in and be like, hey, we have this ginormous stadium. Can we put it to good use right now? And I know, obviously, there is part of the city being like, no, we need that money. Can you come over here?
Yeah, I know Matt Wilson that works with the city of Arlington about bringing things that normally wouldn't be here, like, you know, the PBR and the rodeo are always going to be in Vegas. Well, they're going back there next year. However, Vegas is kind of shut down. So they're like, well, why don't you guys just do it in Arlington? We got 3 nice little stadiums you guys can use.
Which, I mean, not only the 3 stadiums, it's the amount of, like, space that we have in that area, too, to, like, make it as socially distant as possible in situations like this. Because I've seen pictures from the rodeo, or what's happening this week, or this last weekend?
We're in the middle of the National Rodeo Finals.
So I saw some photos there, and there are people, they're spread out, you know, they're not next to each, I mean, I guess if you're with your family.
Yeah, if you bought tickets together.
But, like, there's, you know, pockets here and there, and so I think, you know, you do what you can to mitigate the health and aspects of this pandemic. But
speaking of social distancing during events, you know who has done it right, like better than anybody in my mind, just really flipped so well, is the Levitt Pavilion.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
They like, you know, March hit, they're like, okay, here's what we're going to do. And they started streaming with iPhones.
Yep.
That's what they you know, they had their 50 free concerts lined up, and they're like, okay, we're still going to do it. Yeah. You know, they stuck true to their mission, and they learned how to live stream. Their staff was just really incredible with making an insanely good production within weeks. You know, I'm very impressed with them.
It really did, the quality. But I was like here for the iPhone stuff too. I was like, okay, like let's do it. You know, like let's see what we got here.
We got to figure it out. We all have cameras in our pockets at all times.
And then as the production, you know, got better, you were like, oh, they got a whole thing. They're like figuring it out. And I think you see that with lots of like people that do streaming and stuff like that. Like, at first it was, I mean, I've done a little bit of streaming myself, and it was like, oh, I'll just set my iPhone up on this tripod. Like at first it was like, I'm gonna set my iPhone up on this table. I'm like, well, let's get a little more professional. Get a little tripod here, you know, like. And I think you'll see more. I mean, because obviously the pandemic is, vaccines, you know, may be coming eventually, and that's definitely going to help. But like, we're still going to be kind of going through this, what we're doing now, for a little bit longer. So I don't know where I was going with that.
But no, the Levitt has done really well with the social distancing, because they do have those blocks. Where you can have the 10 people in your block, and then you pay for it ahead of time. And like, I've talked to Letitia about it, and she was saying that they have to turn people away because they, you know, if you're not in your block within like 45 minutes, then it can be open for whoever. So a lot of people are trying to come in and be like, hey, that block's open. Like, yeah, but they're still, we're waiting on them. So I like the way they blocked out for live concerts and stuff.
And they walk around and they do patrols and stuff. They're very serious about it. They're not just one of those organizations that's doing it for show, you know, which is cool.
Which is a lot of them.
Which is a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't really seen that a lot in Arlington. Well, I'm thinking specifically about bars, because how relevant that is right now. We're recording this on the eve of bars getting shut down in North Texas again. And I've talked to several bar owners, at least in the downtown area and kind of over on West Division Street, and they have all been so, you know, sticking to every rule that they can, that they know, because they're just desperate to stay open. And it's just so sad that this is happening again. And
I mean, a lot of them. Go ahead.
I mean, if the customers are going to remove their masks, you know, I mean, it's going to spread the virus. And in a bar setting, you don't. After a few drinks, you don't.
The inhibitions, you know, like
You know, it's not like at a restaurant where you're contained in your booth with the person you're with. You know, you take off your mask. The server has theirs on. You know, you're only interacting with somebody who's presumably in your inner circle anyway, right?
That's
but in a
very
bar
fair.
situation, you know, you walk up, let me get out of here. You know, there's 4 people around you.
Right.
And it's really terrible, because there's not any more stimulus money coming right now for these small businesses. They've already taken such a hit.
Right. A lot of them have switched over to 51%, which is another hit for them financially, just to be able to stay open.
And it can cause problems later on.
Right, because in a year,
rolling the dice, because if it turns out that their sales didn't hit that 51% next year, there's a fine. You know, it could be really bad in the next couple of years, and I'm hoping that federally or statewide, there will be money for these small businesses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So, what kind of things would you maybe like to see both the Arlington City leadership and, grassroots organizations tackle here, like
in 2021?
Yeah, like in the coming year.
Ooh, taking down some of those big issues we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, I think definitely walkability on Division Street is going to be something that's going to be a big thing in the future. And I think another thing that I've been thinking about a lot, and I've heard talks of, but has never been formalized really, is engaging Mansfield, engaging South Arlington, and bringing them into the local area, like local businesses.
I've thought about that for a while now.
Well, I even like actually at the Chat and Do that you hosted at UTA. I actually talked about that, and actually we talked about a couple of Chat and Do's around that time in 2019 as well, where it was like, how do we get because we all know what's going on down here because I literally live like half a mile away. You went to UTA, so like you're still pretty connected. Like, and you were here on you. Like when I went to UTA, I wasn't like connected to this area. But you've kind of done that. How do we get those people to come here and be like, hey, no, it's cool here?
Well, I mean, it's not just doing things in this area. It's also about expanding what's happening here to South Arlington,
that's fair.
because of the fact that South Arlington has a lot of residency and there's a lot of people that do live down there. Why can't we do this exact same thing down
I don't
in
know
South
that
Arlington?
you have the opportunity to have all these kind of businesses down there. I don't know that there's a place like this down there. I think that's
Not yet.
But where would you put it?
This wasn't here to begin with either.
Where would you put it though?
Harris Street with all those warehouses. However, I did hear that that whole area did get bought for more warehouses.
Oh, in Southeast Arlington?
No, South Arlington. Yeah, like right on Cooper, as you're like Harris and Cooper, like that whole area. Harris,
down by
Harris, Eden, all
almost
that.
close to Mansfield.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah.
But also Mansfield's growing as it is.
Cool.
So
In this way.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're also starting to connect with Midlothian. So why would we want them to be more friends with Midlothian as opposed to us? Like a lot of times, it feels like South Arlington stuff is like, nah, it's Mansfield area. We don't have to worry about that. It's like, no, we're still neighbors. We could still work together. We could still make it a lot better.
I don't know that there's a place to do that, and you'd have to have someone with the vision to do that.
There's a lot of strips down there.
I agree, but you'd have to have someone with vision and money to do that.
I think that there's a big cultural gap there because you think about where we are right now and who's coming here. It's a lot of like the North Arlington nicer neighborhoods, and I think it's a socioeconomic difference of like the types of businesses that are here kind of catered to. The people that are coming here currently, of course. So I just don't think there's enough of a cultural crossover right now,
Right.
But yeah, so it's kind of a thought there. Yeah.
So if we're looking at a magic ball, when do you see?
When do you hope, really?
Yeah. What kind of normalcy? When do you see normalcy coming back?
We're sitting in the new normal right now.
I would agree with that. My wife and I were actually talking about that yesterday. Like, this might be normal.
Yeah, until we get a vaccine that everybody's on board with, this is the new normal.
Right.
And so, yeah, I guess vaccine time, that's when everything's coming down, and by everything I mean masks.
Right.
I don't know. I actually think the mask might stick around longer.
I like them.
Some people, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I it's a face cover while I'm cold.
Yeah.
It's great while I'm biking. I'm down with it.
My allergies haven't been as bad because I'm wearing a mask everywhere. Yeah,
that's fantastic. It's good for self-expression. I don't wear a lot of jewelry, but like a mask is like, how am I feeling today?
Yeah.
I'm feeling very plaid today, or I'm feeling very Star Wars today. I would agree with that. It's been fun to see people express themselves with the mask. That was one of the things that I talked about with a couple of people as well. Like, everyone kind of gets to express, like me, I've got a Star Wars mask on, like, but I also have like I made my wife made me some masks out of some old work shirts. I got like a plaid,
That's cute.
Yeah, it's fun. But other people, got fandoms, all kinds of stuff. Different colors, different masks to go with different outfits. Like, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been a nice merchandising thing. Everyone's like, "Oh, we can start making masks now too."
Kind of weird. 2020, the year masks got popular.
Right.
I mean, obviously for health reasons, but like, You could just have a regular piece of cloth and be like, I'm calling it a day.
Yeah.
Instead, you accessorize it and you make it cool.
Yeah, Japan's like, haha, we've been doing this forever.
Right? They probably have the best design.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I think it's where the ones with the lights on them come from.
Okay, so I'm going to pivot a little bit. One thing I want to mention, because we did just talk about Chat and Do, we have been asked to host the one on February 7th.
Cool.
Dr. Jekyll's.
Yep.
So we will be the speakers on that one. If anybody has any ideas about other guest speakers, David Conant asked for that input. So send Arlington Knights a message.
Yeah, follow them anyway and just
Or you can
see what
tell
they're
us
doing.
and we'll
Right,
pass
or
it
tell
along.
us
Too.
and we can pass that along. But anyways, Garrett, you've been really involved in the city as a college student, as a resident. Where did that come from? Why do you have this passion to work for the city and the citizens of Arlington?
That's funny, yeah. So my parents don't understand it either. My mom and dad, like, for the longest time, were just, like, looking at me sideways about it. But now they're very, like, loving about it and, like, have embraced it as a part of my personality. And but I think it's just because from a big family, I grew up with like 38 cousins who, like, I was involved with all of their lives, you know? And so I grew up with, like, a built-in community, you know? And then joined band, which, you know, if anybody is a band nerd, you know that, you know, you're stuck with these people and you go through all this grueling effort, you know? And it's just such, you have to be, you know, lockstep in everything, you know? And so going up through leadership in band was really, you know, a lot of lessons learned, had great instructors who were mentors and whatnot. And really, I that whole time, you know, I thought I was having fun. I thought I was teaching people. I thought I was, you know, being a good cousin or big brother or something like that. But the whole time, you know, you're just practicing relationship building. And so I knew that's what I was good at. And going into, you know, college, like, what do you want to be? And I was like, I'm going to be a people person. And that was really the only good answer that I had. So it was cool going to UTA because me and my best friend that I went there with, we knew that going to UTA you could build something. We knew that it was kind of a blank slate. There were blank slates culturally, you know. There's a lot of pieces there for sure, but there is a lot of room for individual expression there and individual, like, you know, building. So yeah, going to UTA was a great place because it's kind of
it's like a blank canvas in some ways.
Yeah, it's definitely a little, what are those things, the little lab culture round tins, basically, and you get to put your drop in there and see it expand. So yeah. Plate, yeah.
I was going to say that you did that, right? Like,
just a culture plate.
A culture plate.
Yeah.
It's a culture plate. That's what UTA is.
Yeah, I mean, I would say even to larger, like Arlington is in some ways a culture plate, because you do have the ability to. It's a small enough city that you have the ability to kind of jump in and make an immediate impact in a lot of places. I mean, like, just this podcast, for instance, is an area where there was a need for something like that.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we filled it. And through the podcast, we've now been able to make all these connections with people in Arlington and these organizations. And you talk about being in a big family, like, that's community building. Like, when I was in punk rock, when I was in my teens, you know, like, recording bands and, like, playing shows, like, that's community building. It's the same thing that you're doing, that we're all doing here. We're helping build this community in ways that are hopefully, you know, fun and vibrant and informative for people.
Yeah, Mark Jokel's a big influence of mine. Just, you know,
absolutely.
He's been doing it longer than anybody in Arlington, and the thing that he learned and, you know, reinforced in me is that, you know, art is at the center of it. Just because art is the expression of the people, art is the voice of the people, art is, you know, what brings people to events and brings people together and gives people those shared experiences, you know, and that's what. A strong community has strong art, you know, and I think that a strong community is built by strong art. Right. And so, so it just kind of naturally was my path, and then he was like, well, you're doing good. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to keep doing that then. And that was, I want to bring it back to the big efforts in 2021. I really think that having a consolidated art plan for the city is a big talking point right now. I think that understanding what public art should look like in Arlington, who should be doing it, where our money's going, where it's coming from, what type of artists we want to support and whatnot, because we need to have some sort of an invitation for artists to come in and provide those experiences. So I think that's going to be a big thing in the future. I know that Downtown Arlington paired with the city to do a public art plan and came up with a lot of initiatives for it. And one of them is working to build a facility in downtown that is a content creation facility. So
good.
Yeah, so there's a lot of really cool efforts being made in the arts sector around here. So I think that's going to be a huge blossom in 2021. So
beautiful.
So looking forward a little bit further into the future, like what would you hope Arlington looks like in 5, 10, 20 years? Like what are big things you'd like to see the city do?
A personal goal of mine is to be known as a entertainment capital, not just in our stadiums on the big side, but on the small side, people thinking of Arlington and not saying, what is that? Saying, okay, that's a arts oriented city. That's a place where people can go and like feel welcome and find culture. So just having that perception shift is a huge goal of mine, and I know other people's as well. And I really think that we need to be thinking about tourism all the time. That is just as a city, that's how we've been built, and that's the hand we've been dealt. So we're going to play it, and we're going to do it really well. So just trying to be good hosts, but also not let that suck the soul from us. Do fun stuff at night when nobody's here.
Yeah, you're building up local artists.
Yes, exactly.
Look, yeah. Like, and I think that those can go like hand in hand, really. Like, and that's what I think we've all kind of been preaching for the past 2 years. Is like you talked earlier about the bridge between downtown and the entertainment district. Like, those are two very like key points in our city, and we bridge them. And like you have, the people are going, and we've even seen stuff like that happening. There was an Auburn and I don't know, some other college football. Was it Michigan?
I know I've been to legal where there was nothing but blue. And
right.
gold.
And so like they migrated. Essentially, like what happened, because the one I was thinking of was like a division, like this like stream of Auburn fans just like walked into division, and I was like, whoa, okay, like this is exactly what you want. You want to see them going from a place like, okay, we're cool, we're here to watch the game, and that's fun. What can we do outside of that?
Right.
What can we do that is a more local flavor? Because I like Texas Live. I've actually never been to Texas Live. But
I like the concept of it.
Right. I like the concept of it, but I also like the fact that like you're not that far from legal. You're not that far from Urban Union. You're not that far from all these cool things like axe throwing, like a tiki bar, like two breweries. Right. Like if you can, and even like Grease Monkey, Hurtado, like On Tap, like there's all these things for people to do that's not that far away.
Right.
Yeah.
The city's finally paying attention to that, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I think they are.
Well, that's the thing, is like they built that stadium area, their entertainment district, and then this happened on its own.
Yes, it's very organic.
They had nothing to do with all this that was happening over here, so now they have to be like, well, okay, we built a Texas Live,
blessing, though. Like, I hope that they're like, oh wow, we like had this thing, and then this thing happened too.
Yeah, definitely. The Chamber of Commerce has been paying a lot of attention to downtown area for a long time. I know Lana Wolf, she was the councilman for this area for past, she did it for probably like 20 some odd years, but she was the first ever downtown director back in her like 40s, and now she's like 70 or something like that. I don't know how old she is, but anyway, so she's been working on that for a very long time, and it's been growing intentionally for quite a while. But it is now like becoming a huge priority for the city, now that everything that can be built in the entertainment district is either built or planned to be built with the Medal of Honor Museum coming in.
And then convention center once it gets finished and all that.
So that'll be huge. But yeah, absolutely, this is gonna be the local scene.
Yes.
Right here, baby.
I know for me, I'd like to see the city do like some sort of public transportation at the very least between those two areas.
Right. I mean, we're going to have those autonomous pods coming in here, so.
And we have the VIA.
Yeah, VIA works out
That's
very
true,
well, too.
but I mean, it's not as. I don't know. To me,
Right, well, like
it's not as
Lincoln Square had
centralized
those,
right there. Those trolleys, right?
that would take you to and fro. Yeah.
And like that's
Cool.
even the thing. Like,
Yeah.
why isn't Lincoln Square being like? I know that a lot of businesses are closing down there, and I think that a lot of
Rip Sherlock's.
the COVID.
Yeah.
I think COVID has
Coffee
accelerated a lot of that too. I've also heard some. I don't want to badmouth the people that own Lincoln Square because I'd like to. Talk
I've heard
to
that
them
they've
one day,
raised
but
rents
I
quite a
heard that
bit, and that's
too.
why a lot of people aren't in there.
I've
So,
also heard, I'm just gonna put it out there. I've heard that maybe they want to turn that place into a hotel because it actually would be a really great place for like a giant hotel. It's literally right up
Yeah.
the street from. But I would like to see it stay a shopping center
of
because
course.
then you have like another place in this relative area
Right.
to have a different sort of thing. Like, okay, cool. Now we can get you to downtown to have fun and have drinks and whatever. But you can
Right.
also go up here to Lincoln Square and do that.
Yeah, just big box shopping isn't what it used to be.
I would agree with that too, and I think COVID has also accelerated trends of like, I'm just
Yes.
I'm gonna order online and pick it up, and we're good, and now I'm gonna dip out.
Right.
But there are restaurants there. There are.
Yeah.
There could
Well, then
be
they built
bars
that thing
there.
catty corner on the other side of the highway. That there was like all these restaurants and other places. I was like,
yeah.
why couldn't
Champions-
you just do all
Champions-
of that? Yeah, Champions
Estate or something like
They
that.
got-
Park.
something like that.
Rocket Fizz, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rocket
Rocket
Fizz, the
Fizz,
candy
yeah.
place.
The biscuit
The
bars
biscuit
up
bar.
there.
Biscuit
Yeah,
bars
it's a
are-
good place. I
Yeah,
love
it
that
is,
whole
yeah.
area.
Right by Guitar Center.
Buffalo Spot.
Yeah, by
well,
Guitar Center and Whole Foods.
Yeah.
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 I don't go up there enough.
Yep. Anyways, speaking of exciting news.
This is exciting news.
Very exciting.
Okay, we have our very first
5-timer.
I'm the
Five
first
times?
one.
You're
Yeah.
the
Oh, that's so cool. I'm honored.
We thought of this originally a jacket.
Yep.
Cool.
It has turned into we can't afford a jacket every time.
There's one jacket.
It's fair.
We all have families and bills, and we love y'all, but
Can't be dropping.
Not
money
enough to
on
buy you a
This
jacket
is a
every
hobby
time.
at this
Yeah,
point.
for
it's a
real.
hobby.
Unless someone wants to sponsor us, and then
You
we
guys,
could.
I'm gonna give you
We'll
a
take
jacket.
it.
Maybe the
All
man
right.
shop could
Oh.
sponsor us for jackets.
Here is the
Hey, Wally.
jacket. Who?
The man shop.
Oh yeah.
Or another clothing place.
Oh, cool.
Hey.
It's denim.
It is.
I love denim jackets.
So-
Denim jacket.
Yeah.
We bought it in a men's extra large.
So it can kind of fit a lot of
you know,
people.
Cool.
the vast majority. Our plan here is we're going to decorate the back ACM, but
Yeah.
we want you to sign it. And
Yeah.
put don't take a picture of me. Give it to him. You know, we want
Presentation
you to sign
of the
maybe
jacket.
Put a little message on there.
Can we cut
and,
tags off next time?
It's going to serve as a permanent relic.
You're really
this
like,
time.
we'll have to get another page.
Yeah, we'll get you
Yeah,
a
sure.
wall over here.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
so
but
exciting.
in my mind, it's like the Stanley Cup in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. Like when we get
Yeah.
some 5-timers, we have them sign it. I think we're going to do a little airbrushing or maybe some bedazzling or whatnot.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
what
so
the
you get
markers are for. This
Yeah.
is so exciting.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can do whatever you want on there, wherever. And
Except
yeah.
in the middle and the back because we still got to put our stuff on it. But
Yeah.
you know, the sleeves are open.
Sleeves open.
Sleeves
the
open,
front's
you
open.
do it on the
Front's
front.
open. Yeah,
Front's
do the front.
Okay.
You're the first time.
This is entirely up to you.
Yeah, you could just put Garrett on the front to where people ever.
Yeah,
I
this
always
is-
think that it's Garrett's.
actually
Garrett was
Garrett's.
here.
Yeah.
Garrett's. I'm gonna bring back a pin to put on here too.
Yeah, that
'cause
would
I
be
think
Okay,
that'd be
fine,
fun.
yeah.
Absolutely. That's
That's
a lot of
great, yeah.
flair. We could have some flair for
Flair.
the
Oh, yeah.
Flair
you,
for the 5.
You let us use this jacket, and we, contribute.
Yep.
Yeah.
I heard at the Tiki Bar you can buy their mug, right? They have a Four Kahunas Tiki mug. If you buy it, you take that home and you leave your favorite Tiki mug up there and use it. It's really neat.
Oh.
But
That
yeah,
is
so
cool.
I'm thinking the same thing for this or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we're always open to ideas.
But anyways, Garrett, thank you so much. Like, we appreciate everything that you do
Yes.
for this.
Oh, I appreciate you
Everywhere we
guys.
go, people know your name.
Yep, and we're excited to talk about you and what you've done and
Oh.
You have an incredible reputation
Mm-hmm.
on the city, and we are all excited to see where you are 20 years from now, Mayor Garrett.
Oh, thank you. It made me cry. Yeah, thank you guys so much. It's been an honor being on here every time. I know that every time it's something different that
Yeah,
we're talking
that's
about
good,
too,
though.
and it's really fun. Just like to come out here. You give me a place to be excited about something publicly. So I appreciate you guys for creating that space for people and putting the news out there. Because, like you said, you're not getting paid for this at all.
But it's still fun 2 years later.
that is
It's
true.
still
It is almost
fun.
2 years later, and You know, in 10 years when we get our first sponsor, we'll that's where we'll be in 10
crossed.
years.
Fingers crossed.
Moving up together.
Yeah, get our Lone Star Emmy or some other Emmys. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll figure something. We'll get some award.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Cool.
Garrett.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Yes,
Thank you.
Mr. Five-Timer.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, Garret Martin, Five-Timer.
5-time?
That jacket is so cool. We're going to get it spray painted too, like at the mall. It's going to be awesome.
Right.
So, remember to listen to the upcoming interviews. Go back, listen to old interviews, listen to all the interviews. If you missed some shows, go back, check them out, you know. It's always great to learn more and more about your city. We're really looking forward to the new year. It's going to be a good one, right?
Sure is. We're going to try some new things. We're going to give you some history lessons, try out different food, not just pizza this year.
Yes.
And who knows what else? I mean, we've got new rugby team starting. We've got hopefully XFL announcing more things. We've got the Rangers coming back, actually playing in the field with the actual people there. Just so many good things coming to this city.
Super exciting. So, you guys don't forget, remember to
make sure to go out and eat local, drink local, and
go rediscover your city.
Tag us and send those pictures over to us on Facebook, Arlington Citizen Media, Twitter, ATX Citizen Media. Tag us on Instagram, Arlington Citizen Media, and send those pictures the old-fashioned way. Email arlingtoncitizenmedia@gmail.com. Also go to our website, www.arlingtoncitizenmedia.com. Don't forget to subscribe and give those 5-star reviews of the downtown at Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and also hit us on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and YouTube.